free over and over again. In 2015, he tried to rape a young homeless woman. He served just 2 months in jail, got probation, didn't meet any of his requirements, and was set loose to menace our city some more. There was never any meaningful rehabilitation, the kind where he couldn't just walk away and go back to hurting people again. Nothing involuntary, no intervention, no significant drug treatment, no significant mental health treatment. No jail time that really amounted to anything. Not enough anyway to make him think twice about his ways. And then on September 16th, after those 47 arrests, with 9 unresolved cases still open at Seattle Municipal Court, after the catch and release policy had played out again and again on Travis Berge with nothing in place to interrupt the downward spiral, in a camp at Cal Anderson Park, Travis beat and murdered his girlfriend Lisa Bach by driving a nail into her head. And then he ran to a pump house at the park and locked himself in, and with other campers calling out to him in the night. He climbed into a giant vat of liquid, a mixture of bleach and water, and drowned himself. Maybe Travis Berge was too far gone, beyond help. Maybe no amount of counseling or treatment, involuntary or otherwise, could have saved him. It's possible that even had he gone to a place like Hope Haven and gotten off the drugs and received intensive psychological treatment and some tools to deal with the thing that was killing him, it's possible that none of it would have helped. But we'll never know, because we didn't try any of it. The sad truth is that Travis Berge had been drowning for years, and all Seattle did was stand there and watch. The nonprofit Downtown Emergency Services Center, DESC, just across from the courthouse, is also a major provider of psychiatric services in Seattle. The sheer volume of addiction that begets mental illness and mental illness that begets addiction has turned the streets of Seattle into a fertile breeding ground for psychosis. All around us in the state of Washington are people in crisis, battling mental illness, left untreated. Because we largely handle mental health the way we handle drug addiction. We feel bad and then look away until it's too late. Dr. Jürgen Uniter is the chair of UW Psychiatry and Behavioral Services.
What's wrong with the way we're approaching this?
Well, I think we have for too many years sort of thought about mental illness and addiction isn't, like other health problems. We thought about it more like a character flaw. We thought about it like something that you brought on yourself, and now you have this mental illness. And now that we understand the brain better, what we can see is it's really no different from other health problems.
The doctor says the link between drug addiction and mental illness is unmistakable.
I think it's very hard to say these are separate things. These are things that are often happening together. In fact, I would say the vast majority of people who have an addiction problem also have a mental health problem, and vice versa. In mental illness, I think we wait till we're at stage 4. When a person comes to the emergency room here at Harborview in a really decompensated psychotic state, in my mind, that's having waited until cancer is at stage 4. That's the mental health equivalent of a stage 4 cancer.
There are scenes like this playing out in one form or another seemingly everywhere around the Emerald City. This man, whose name is Vincent, could be seen at Seattle Center every day for a week. We talked to him.
Have you battled any mental illness in your life, Vincent?
I've battled somewhat of something or another, but I tend to make it work out all right.
You're in your underwear.
No, these are my hanging jock shorts.
You have a place to go? Do you have anyone to help you?
The real deal is I have an aunt who won't give me any money to get any water.
We got him some water and called his Aunt Terry for him. She'd been worried sick, and she and her partner Donna came to get him. The conversation that followed was heartbreaking.
Can I get in the car and take you home?
No.
Come on, honey.
I'll take $100.
How about I just take you home? I want to take you home. I want to take you to the hospital. Have them help you get together.
Get my $100 together?
Well, you can have $100, but I want to take you to the hospital first
Why?
because you are manic.
We'll get
And
you
you
that
want
first.
to know how I know?
How?
You don't have any shoes on. You never have shoes on when you're manic.
They were eventually able to get Vincent some help. But how many Vincents are there that don't have an Aunt Terry? Don't have anyone to help them battle psychosis? How many Vincents do we walk past every day?
I'd say he was a mama's boy.
There was a sweet kid who was raised in Tacoma named Kevin Carter Jr. He was an athlete at Wilson High School. He was a rapper, and when he got up on stage, he lit it up. His sister Nicole says he didn't fall into some of the traps that other kids did.
He never was one to go a partier. He was never, someone who liked to go out to the bar
And no drugs.
never, no drugs, never touched drugs.
His pictures project charisma and joy, but after high school, mental illness crept into Kevin's life, depression and panic attacks. To his sister Nicole, he would say things like this.
I just don't feel joy. I don't feel happiness. He felt like he just wasn't able to experience any kind of joy.
And here's the thing about Kevin. He did everything right. His parents, Bedez and Kevin Sr., saw it firsthand.
He was really searching for
He
help.
really tried.
He really did try.
I told him that. I said, son, I know, and I don't know if you realize that I know, and Mom knows that you are really trying. I never seen anybody try as hard as you.
There are piles of self-help books that he read, and there are lists that he would write, reminding himself that he was a good guy,
I am talented. I am handsome.
that he was loved.
I am a strong, confident man. I am hardworking. I am living in abundance. I only focus on the positive and who I truly am.
Kevin Jr. refused to quit. He wrote letters to himself.
I am so happy and thankful that I am pressing forward and telling a story that will inspire others in a positive way.
He sought counselors, doctors. He took medication. When he had thoughts about hurting himself, there were stays at Overlake Medical Center and Fairfax Behavioral Hospital. Kevin Carter Jr. wanted to get better. He fought hard for it. He wasn't feeling good one day, and his mom took him to a new place in Tacoma, Well-Found Behavioral Hospital. They wouldn't let him stay. They sent him home. A month later, Kevin had a major panic attack. His mom took him to the ER at Good Samaritan Hospital. They sent him by ambulance to Well-Found. He told the people at Well-Found that he couldn't feel anything, just numbness. They sent him home again.
He came home. I was here. He didn't seem himself. He just was feeling desperate, down, empty.
At 3:15 that morning, Kevin Jr. had yet another panic attack, so he got in the car and drove himself back to Well-Found. He told them he needed help.
In the night, the doctor that was working with him called us at 2 a.m, and he was the most calming doctor. We just really understood where Kevin was at. He talked spiritual things, and we just felt like, oh my gosh, this is great. He's getting help. And then toward the end of the conversation, he goes, but I do want to let you know I'm sending him home. And we're like, what?
So they sent Kevin back home for a third time. Only this time, he didn't go home.
Well, they can't help me. I'm really in a bad place here. What do? I don't even want to think about it. It just tears me up to, put myself where he must have been.
He went to Titlow Park, and this bright, charismatic young man who did everything right, who fought his illness so hard, stood there in the night waiting, and then threw himself in front of a train.
He just wanted help so he could get better. He didn't want to die. Somebody who wants to die doesn't go and beg for help 3 times.
I think the system failed him.
I'll put it to you like this. They could have done more, and if they would have, he would still be here.
Along with a drug crisis and a crisis of faith in leadership and the COVID crisis, there is also a mental health crisis.
So would you say the system is overrun right now?
The system is overwhelmed by the number of people who need care and the lack of available or trained workforce. Something that
Dr. Jim Vollendroff believes there should be more investment into mental health, and he says the numbers bear it out.
in Washington State.